I'm in Germany ahead of Challange Roth, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't just a little bit excited about this pro bike, because this is a bike that I've been dying to take a closer look at for some time now. This is the Scott Plasma of Sebastian Kienle. This is a Scott Plasma 5. It's an update to their previous Plasma 3. So it's gone through a few modifications and changes, and one of those is with its aerodynamics. So Scott used something called airfoil, and this looks at how the air moves and changes in its dynamics through different parts of the bike. So if we take the seat tube, for instance, there's a lot of movement of the air around the area due to our legs moving, the cranks moving, the rear wheel moving. That's very different to the front end, for instance. So the tubing of the frame is very different around this area in comparison to the forks and the front end. So they've tried to change the tubing shape and the angle and the transitions of that tubing to complement that and the different dynamics of the wind. First of all, let's take a look at the front end. Okay, so the Plasma allows two stem options. You've got the TT version, which comes out almost directly in line with the top tube here. And then you've also got the Triathlon version, which Sebastian is riding here, and it's got a 45mm increase in height without adjusting the reach. Interestingly, both versions are UCI legal. But with the Triathlon version, you can then add in this integrated hydration and storage. That isn't UCI legal, but with it, it's actually just as aerodynamic, if not more aerodynamic. So here, in this front end, you can store your hydration, your fluids, and actually you can top that up through this opening here. And then Sebastian's actually got his own straw coming out with a magnet that he's put on. He's just taped it on here, and then one onto the aero bars here. Actually, from what I understand, this is something that they're going to bring out in future models. And then going back from that, we've also got the fueling and storage system on the top tube. And moving from that onto the cockpit, and this is the bit that I'm really excited to take a look at. So the bike comes with three different base bar options. You've got the -30 option, which Sebastian has here, so you can see a slight slope downwards. They come as a flat option, and then also a +30 option, which would obviously do the opposite from this and come up slightly. Also comes with quite a long extension on the horns, and you can then cut that down to whatever length you like. Sebastian's gone for more or less the shortest you can. Now onto the gearing, and this is really interesting. So Sebastian's using SRAM eTap, so he's got the blips on the bull horns here, but rather than having them on the end of the poles here, he's actually got them under the aero bars just here. Okay, so what he does, he just uses his ring finger as he's on the aero bars, and actually means that when he's climbing, he can stay in the bars, sit back a little bit, pull on the bars and still change gear rather than trying to lean forward. So really interesting option. We see a lot of different variants with the Pro bikes. Okay, then finishing the aero bars and base bars, he's using the Pro logo bar tape, which has quite a nice grippy finishing texture. And then on from the aero bars, we've got the armrests, and this is another really interesting area. So Sebastian's actually cut the inside curvature of the elbow pads away, and then he's padded across all the way from one pad to the other, and that allows him to sort of move his elbows around and get into a nice aerodynamic and aggressive position. And moving down from that, we have the brake, and this is another modification and new feature for the Plasma 5 because it is integrated. It uses a center pull brake for the front brake, and that's actually Scott's own brake, and then the rear brake is situated under the bottom bracket, as we see with most TT bikes these days, and that uses a direct mount. And onto the wheel set, and we've got the Zipp 858 NSW front wheel with its unique sawtooth design. On the back, he's opting for the Zipp disc, and on both of those we have the Continental limited tyres. That's spotted by this 111 on the front tyre and 33 on the rear tyre. They're both clincher tyres, and he's running a 23 in both the front and the rear tyre. And moving back through the bike, as I mentioned already, he's running SRAM Red eTap. So we've got the SRAM Red eTap front mech and rear mech with their individual batteries for both units because they're wireless. On from that, we've got the SRAM Aero chainring, and he's running a 55 in the outer big ring and 42 on the inner. And from that, he's running a 175 crank length and with the Speedplate Aero pedals. So the bike is more or less prepped and ready for race day here in Germany at Challange Roth. So he's got his race chain on. It's a SRAM chain, and it comes ready and prepped from Muc Off with its special race day lubricant. And with that, he's got the SRAM Red cassette, and he's running that in an 11.26. And another modification going from the Plasma 3 to the Plasma 5 is in terms of the seat post in relation to the seat tube. So this Plasma 5 features a much more vertical seat post, which allows an extra 10 mil of movement to play with. And then on the top of that, we've got the Pro Logo T-Gale TT saddle, and that has this really cool grippy feature on the end of the saddle, so you can stay nice and still and perched on the end when you're in the aero position. And coming off of that, we've got this storage holder from X-Lab with the X-Lab Gorilla bottle cage, and then for race day, he's also going to put another bottle cage onto this side. And talking of bottle cages, we've also got this aero bottle on the down tube, the nice bright power bar bottle, and on the rear of that, we've got this storage compartment which he'll put his race day spares into, and that's actually been designed with Simon Smart from Drag to Zero. So it's nice and aerodynamic, it fills in this space and flows nicely on from the bottle. And then one last thing that I have noticed is hidden here under the pads, and it seems to be a little ladybird. And I understand from talking to his team, it is actually a good luck charm that his girlfriend, or now wife, gave to him years ago, and also has actually got smaller over the years due to aerodynamics. Well, that's been absolutely amazing. I couldn't wait to have a look at this, and I'm definitely taking away a few ideas myself. If you like this bike as much as I did, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos from GTN, just click on the globe and subscribe. If you'd like to see another Scott Plasma, see how it compares to Sebastian's, you can see Alistair Brownlee's by clicking up here. If you'd like to see some Challange Roth facts, just click down there.